Okay, so welcome everybody to our annual St. George's Day celebration. As some of you will know, St. George's Day was actually Friday, so it's the 23rd of April. But yeah, obviously we're doing this on the nearest Sunday to St. George's Day. So I'm then here's someone of Ealing and Hanwell's district commissioners. Although they introduce themselves when they come up, I will just briefly tell you who else we've got on camera here. So we've got my co-DC, Heather Jones. We've got Mandy Coombs and Nisha Patel, who are two of our deputy district commissioners. I do apologise for all the non-titles, it's just what scouting does. We've also got Tash, Martin and Stuart, who run Beavers, Cubs and Scouts for Ealing and Hanwell. Then we should have Anthony Phillips, who was our district president. I'm not sure if I actually saw him join us, but Anthony should be here. We've got Jonathan Bartlett, our district chair. And then we've got an incredibly special guest. We've got our county commissioner, Richard Williams. Richard Williams runs the bit of scouting above Ealing and Hanwell. So if Heather and I are like small Bear Grylls, Richard is like a slightly larger Bear Grylls.
Medium Bear Grylls.
Medium, yeah. He's also very tall, so many reflects he's a very large Bear Grylls. We don't have them in person, but we've also got a pre-recorded video from some of our local members of parliament and a couple of other special guests on that video. And although you can't see them, my wife and youngest son are also here as well. So if we were at St. George's Day physically in Ealing and Hanwell right now, they would have been there. So they've come and joined me. My wife is currently doing our audiovisual support, which is why you can't actually see her. So first, I'd just like to big thank you to all of the Beavers, Cubs, Scouts, Explorers, parents and volunteers that are on this webinar. And a huge thank you to everyone that turned up for Camp at Home last night. I think there were 150, 200 people plus, which was amazing. I myself camped in my garden on a camp bed. Unfortunately, I forgot about the birds that start singing at about 5 in the morning. So if there's bags under my eyes, it's partly because I didn't have a particularly good night's sleep, because I forgot about the birds. And lying there thinking, and I couldn't be bothered to go all the way upstairs to get earplugs. So I just lay there. I'm trying to put my hands over my ears. And I know I can't see any of our young people, but I'm picturing all of you in incredible uniform. Beavers, Cubs and Scouts, very smart in their knickers and their shirts or pullovers. Now, Explorers, if you are there, I know you won't have tucked in your uniforms or done up your shirt. So if you could just do that now, that would be fantastic. Now, we'd love to get as many pictures of what you did in Camp at Home or when we do the renewal of promise later. So parents, if you are Twitter lovers or Twitter users, we have our own Twitter feed, which is at E&H Scout. So please do share your pictures at that. Or we've also got a Facebook page. So if you search on Facebook for Ealing and Hanwell Scouts, you should find a Facebook page. Please do share lots of pictures. Okay, now, obviously this is a webinar, so you can't actually answer the question, but does anyone know why Scouts support St. George's Day? Okay, no answer, so no one did know. So it's not because he's the patron saint of England. So some of you might think it's something to do with the fact that he's the patron saint of England, but that's not the reason. It's actually because he's the patron saint of Scouts. So Baden-Powell, who created Scouts back in 1907, did this amazing thing over 114 years ago that created this fantastic movement, chose St. George to be our patron. And he wanted to use this day for us all to reflect on why we're Scouts. So from the youngest beaver to the oldest adult, today is all meant to be about why are we Scouts and what does being a Scout mean. So it's all about thinking about being the promise and the law, and that's why we are going to renew our promise later. So once I've finished waffling, we're going to pass on some other people and they're going to take you through your promise. And it's also about thinking about the law. So we ask every member, the Beavers, Cub Scouts, Explorers Network and Allen volunteers to renew their promise. Now, just in case any of you don't know, I'm just going to go through the Scout law. Now, I know all the adult volunteers on this call and about 80% of young people would know this, but just in case any of you are a little bit rusty, and I can't lie, I've written it down as well. Okay, so Scout law. Scout is to be trusted. Scout is loyal. Scout is friendly and considerate. A Scout belongs to the worldwide family of Scouts. A Scout has courage in all difficulties. Oh, hold on, let me turn my page. A Scout makes good use of time and is careful of possessions and property. And a Scout has self-respect and respect for others. So that and the promise is really why we're Scouts, what it means to be a Scout, and what we do as Scouts. And when we do some of the awards later on, we'll be giving awards to people that have very much demonstrated what it is to be a Scout, which is fantastic. So that's pretty much it for me at the start. I'm now going to hand over to Nisha, who's gonna take on to the next section, but I will come back later on. Thank you very much. And over to you, Nisha.
Thank you, Ben. So good morning, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to say a big thank you to all of our leaders and young leaders in Ealing and Hanwell for keeping Scouting going during the pandemic. Now, I was present at our last district event, a Cubs Monopoly run in March 2019, just 3 days before our first national lockdown. And although be prepared is our motto, I don't think anything could have really prepared us for what was to follow. From our scout huts and outdoor spaces to small squares on Zoom. Our leaders have taken Scouting as we know it and reinvented it, from the great outdoors to the great indoors. You've done hikes to the moon, mug cakes, camping in gardens, scavenger hunts. You've built campfires, escape rooms, cahoots, and so much more. Your creativity in designing virtual sessions has been absolutely phenomenal, and all with good humour and understanding that during difficult times, everything's better when we laugh, smile, and learn together. Now, the lives of our young people over the past year would definitely have been a lot more dull without you, showing that not even a pandemic can stop a Scout leader from doing their best. It would probably be fair to say that 2020 might be the year that we all want to forget, but it's also going to be the year we will always remember. And now, as we slowly make the journey back to face-to-face Scouting, which itself involves tremendous planning, I'd like to once again say thank you to you and good luck. Young people are the beating heart of our movement, but none of it is possible without you giving up your time week after week to plan adventurous and exciting programmes for them. Thank you. And I'd like to now hand over to Mandy.
Thanks, Nisha, and hello, everyone. I just want to take a moment to congratulate all our beavers, cubs, scouts and explorers for, like the leaders, absolutely keeping going with their Scouting during this challenging year. Many of you have continued to attend regular weekly or fortnightly sessions throughout the pandemic, even when most activities were via Zoom. Now, we're very aware that at times things were very frustrating for you, especially when schoolwork was also being done virtually. But the numbers of young people across Ealing and Hanwell who have kept going has been incredibly impressive. And the number of badges completed has just been extraordinary. Leaders have had to order an absolutely huge pile of badges to hand out to you all as we've started getting back to normal Scouting. So most sections now are returning to face-to-face, and I hope you'll all really enjoy that kind of being back to some semblance of normality. And in the district, we're starting to plan some exciting activities for you, which I hope you will really enjoy. We have got adventure days for the beavers in June. There you will be able to do things like zip wires, karting, archery. We've got camporee in July for the cubs, which may not be quite the same as it has been in previous years, but it will be great fun whatever happens. And then the leaders are planning some kind of totem activity for scouts. So lots to look forward to. And now I would like to hand over to our district beaver leader, Tash, who's going to take you through some of the awards that our brilliant beavers have gained. Tash.
Good morning, everybody. So thank you all for joining, and I'd like to just take a minute first of all to read out the list of beavers who've earned their bronze award and congratulate them in that. So in no particular order, there's quite a few, and I apologise now if I pronounce any names incorrectly, but I will do my best. Flora Turnbull, Daisy Baxter, Ella oh, am I reading the wrong ones? No. Ella McNee, Surah Chahan, Ema McVaugh, Isabel Flay, Jada Citrony, Luke Lindsay, Isabella Macaulay Coates, Gabriel Dodd, Annika Agarwal, Geriant Jones, Eric Teok, Noah Youngich, Josiah Stano, George Haldane, Roger Anderson, Harry Konstantoulastis, Tommy Dibley, Julia Murray, Bruno Zamrici, Laura Zamrici, Katie Heineman, Elsa Buttigieg, Evie Mortimer, Atticus Sutton, Alexandre Koo, Leela Patel, Aidan Gilhoim, Sophie Champion, Wilfred Smith, Mesa Andanduri, Martha Samuels, Oscar Gardner, Ethan Kirwan, Nicholas Upfold Castro, Christian Humphrey, Oliver Rajanvik, Jay Deegan, Dylan Lutz, Matthew Hawley, Curtis James, Swara Dusad, Sebastian Grundy, Harry Locke, Laura Mancu, Finley Collins, Max Irvine, Quinn O'Connor, and Henry Lakey. If everybody could just take a moment to congratulate those beavers on earning their bronze award. Thank you very much.
Yay!
Well done, Pat, for reading out all 51 names.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. And then next and finally, and most importantly as well, I'd like all the beavers to just take a minute, please, to renew their promise. So if all beavers could make the scout sign with their right hand, please. And although we can't see you or hear you, I'd love you to repeat your promise after me to renew your promise, please. I promise to do my best, to be kind and helpful, and to love our world. Thank you very much, beavers.
Well done, beavers.
Well done. And now I'd like to hand over to Martin for cubs.
Thanks, Tash. So I'll start with the congratulations to all those cubs that have achieved their Chief Scout Silver Award over the last year. It's a fantastic achievement, especially as we've been in lockdowns. So these are Matthew Malloy, Daniel Woodhams, Liam Hutchinson, Antonio Carter, Adam Frost, Oliver Troman, Ellie Worsley, Laurie Hurst, Rosa Dibley, Anne Hutfield Ono, Kitty Murphy, Philip Coranzi, Patrick Keating, Nurana Annan Urdur Ava, Sam Harriman, James George, Dijon Nathaniel, Alex Hicks, Yidam Ann, Sammy Richardson, Sam Hustleby, Emma Darwin, Philippe Jovan Jokic, Tyler Mercan, Torin Sermon, Harry Parinter, Lucin Taylor, Indy Wright, Thomas Jeffs, Riley Rees, Fabria Sabha, Rohan Samantha, Charlotte Green, Ben Stone, Aidan Devlin, Owen Duggan. Well done to all those cubs that have achieved the Chief Scout Silver Award. Congratulations. Well done.
Well done,
And now,
Martin,
before the cubs,
36 names.
I'm sorry?
Well done, Martin, for reading the 36 names. Fantastic.
It wasn't quite so hard. So if all the cubs would like to stand and make the scout sign, and we'll renew our promise together. Feel free to say them in your own words if you want to use an alternative promise. I promise that I will do my best to uphold our Scout values and to do my duty to the Queen, to help other people and to keep the Cub Scout law. Well done, thank you, Cubs. And now I'll hand over to Stuart for the Scouts.
Thanks, Martin, and welcome to all the Scouts out there in Zoom land. As with the Beavers and Cubs, I'm first going to read out the names of those Scouts that have earned their Chief Scouts Gold Award, followed by the renewal of promises. As you would expect, the Scout list is a little bit shorter than the previous two, so here goes. So we have Aaron West, Greg Turner, Libby Bartle, and we've got Rosie James, Dexter Hanson, and Theo Parkinson Pride. Then we have Axels Karklina, Ruby Davis, Lewis Stewart, Stella Stewart, and we've got Logan Sermon and Max Sermon, Gabriel Chung, Kiran Patel. Then we have Alistair Remington, Daniel Self, Daniel Rana, and Joseph Doobie. Inigo Grant, Aaron Winstanley, Isor Koo, Tara Davis, Ellen Morris and Kira Keating. And finally, we have Jamie Walker and Tomatsu Guarini. So a big well done to all of you for gaining this award. This is by no means an easy award to complete, and even more so given the disruption we've had. So again, many congratulations to you all. And just remember, for those that you may have not quite completed the challenges for the Chief Scouts Gold Award, you can complete them in your first term in an Explorer unit if you're moving up to Explorers. Okay. So now on to the renewal of promise. I'm going to recite the default version. However, each Scout should use the most appropriate version depending on your beliefs. So could all Scouts please stand and make the Scout sign with your right hand, please, and repeat after me. On my honour, I promise that I will do my best to do my duty to God and to the Queen, to help other people and to keep the Scout law. Okay, thank you, Scouts. That concludes the Scout section, and I would now like to hand back to Heather.
Thank you very much. And we are now going to have the renewal of the promise, which is the same version that Stuart just used for the Scouts, but we wanted to separate out and now have the renewal for the Explorers, all the Explorers, any network Scouts that are with us, all leaders, and anyone who has ever been invested and has made their promise in the past. Please, you are warmly invited to make the Scout sign and say along with me, although I will do it slowly just in case you need to do it line by line. I will be using the traditional version, but please do use the preferred version for you at the appropriate line. On my honour, I promise that I will do my best to do my duty to God and to the Queen, to help other people and to keep the Scout law. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to hand back to Ben now because we're going to start with some of our award presentations.
Thank you, Heather. And yeah, thank you everyone that just renewed their promise. Okay, so we've got, I'm going to do some of the young person awards, and then we're going to move on, and Heather's going to do some of our adult awards. So we have, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, just trying to count now. So 9 people that have been awarded a Jack Petchey Award this year. For those that don't know, Jack Petchey is a self-made man who I think came from nothing and built, you know, a large company, and he created the Jack Petchey Foundation, I think about 20 years ago, and he gave young people of, think it's aged between 12 and 18, I think it is, I can't remember exactly the age, the ability to be nominated for an award for doing something special. And Ealing and Hanwell have been part of that scheme for probably 15 years. So once a month, you know, we nominate someone who's gone above and beyond, you know, what is just being a normal older scout or explorer. But yes, it's only the older people that are eligible for it. And there's also one leader award. So yes, so I'd just like to, and these people have a certificate separately, so we're not giving them their certificate tonight, obviously, because we're virtual. But yeah, so our leader award goes to David Hurley, Beaver leader at the 7th Hanwell Cubs. And then our young people awards are to Amelia Coombs for being a young leader at the 5th Hanwell Beavers, Tommy Malone being a young leader at the 6th Ealing, Stephen Carter being an assistant leader at the 6th Ealing Scouts, Emil Patel, young leader at the 6th Ealing, Oscar Hillier, 9th Ealing Scouts, Anna Orty, 7th Hanwell Scouts, Jamie Walker, 7th Hanwell Scouts, and Libby Rocker at the 7th Hanwell Scouts. So well done, all 9 of you. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you much for nominating you. And the great thing about the Jack Petrie Award as well is that the section gets, I think it used to be £250. You know, so the good thing about these awards is that there's a little bit of money that goes back to the section to do scouting. So it doesn't go to the individual, it goes back to the section or the unit, which is fantastic as well. I know that, you know, lots of the Explorer tents came from the Jack Petrie Award, so it's really useful. We've then got 2 special awards. So we've got 2 commissioner commendations. So a commissioner commendation is when either Heather or myself as the district commissioners decide that either an adult or a young person deserves special recognition for doing something outside of the norm. And so it's incredibly rare that we give these to young people. They tend to go to adult. So it's fantastic here that I've got 2 young person awards. Once again, Heather has the physical certificate, so I suspect it will be magically arriving in the post at the recipients over the next week or so. So I have nothing to give you. So the first one is to Alejandra Branley, who is an explorer at Brigantia Explorer Scout Unit. She was nominated because she's been volunteering at the COVID vaccination. God, I can't talk. I've heard this word so many times over the last year. I should be able to say it. Vaccination Centre in Chiswick since January. So she's there at least one day every week and giving up her own time, marshalling the visitors and doing lots of other tasks there. So thank you very much, Alejandra, and well done for putting yourself out to help other people during this exceptional time. And then her younger brother is the other person that's been nominated. So Pablo, he volunteered to be part of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine trial for children. So once again, he was vaccinated with the AstraZeneca jab back in January, and then he has a whole year of blood tests and antibody tests and so on and so forth to essentially trial the vaccine for young people. Once again, he stepped forward to do that. So a huge achievement for both of you. Well done. You're very much, you know, living the scouting values that we talk about when we do the promise and also the law. So congratulations and thank you very much.
Bravo, well done.
And then I have 3 other awards. So we've got, so I'm just trying to find my notes, excuse me 1 second, we've got too many bits of paper. So I've got 2 Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award to announce, I should say, because once again I don't have the certificate. So these are both former explorers who you know moved on to adult roles and went away to university, but also finished off their Gold DV. So the first one is Philip Burns, who is now also helps out at the 1st in North, and Oliver Bray. So congratulations, Philip and Oliver.
Wonderful.
I haven't had your certificate, so normally you would have been invited to a palace to be awarded the certificate, but I'm not quite sure what's happening with COVID. But yes, congratulations, Philip, and congratulations, Oliver. Kind of a little round of applause for those 2.
Bravo.
And then my final award is a Queen Scout, which is, I was incredibly lucky last year to award Malcolm Turner a Silver Wolf, which is a real honour for me because it's really rare. Unfortunately, Queen Scout Awards, which is the top youth award in Scouting, is unfortunately also really rare. It shouldn't be rare because we have a lot of amazing young people, but unfortunately it is. So it's an honour to me to, once again, I don't have the certificate, but to announce a Queen Scout Award. Now, Queen Scout Award, it's the very top award. And fun enough, it became an award in 1909 when it was actually called the King Scout Award, because obviously back then we had a king, we didn't have a queen. Now I don't know if when King Charles becomes king, if it will once again become the King Scout Award, or if it will stay the Queen Scout, who knows. But yes, it's a huge achievement, and it's something that normally takes a little bit like the Gold DV. It normally takes 2 to 3 years of commitment, because exams and school and jobs get in the way. So it involves an expedition, it involves volunteering, it involves a physical activity and a skill, but it's a Scout Award. So it's one step up from the Queen Scout Award, because they have to do that extra little bit. So I'm delighted to announce that Francis Curran, a First Ealing North sectional assistant, has completed and has been awarded this Queen Scout Award. So congratulations, Francis.
Bravo, Francis. Very,
once
very
again,
delighted.
Normally on St. George's Day, there is a Queen Scout presentation at Windsor Castle. So if it wasn't for COVID, today you'd probably be at Windsor Castle. So I'm really sorry to tell you that. Obviously, I don't know if next year there'll be a ceremony, and I expect with Prince Philip's passing, it probably wouldn't have happened anyway. But yes, let's hope that those people that have earned these awards under COVID will be invited to the proper ceremony when things reopen. But yes, normally there's a big Windsor Castle parade on St. George's Day. So yeah, congratulations, Francis. And I am now handing over to Heather.
Yes. So do I have to spotlight myself, or
no, you'll be spotlighted
by your wonderful assistants behind the scenes? Right, I have got a few Chief Scout Long Service Awards, and the first one will be a surprise to this person because it's very delayed, and that was because prior to our own role as DC, some awards went astray, and we dug into it, and we've got a reprint and the badge for Martin Truss for 5 years, but it's dated 2016, Martin. So come this December, you'll be going straight on to your 10 years. But congratulations anyway. I don't know if that is back to front in the type, but congratulations to you. And then I've got another 5-year one, and this is for Sergio Garrido Lestache. I'm trying very hard to pronounce your name correctly, Sergio. Congratulations, 5 years for you. That's dated, it's 11th of January 2021. And at the same time, I've got Nuria Belincourt, and that is also from January 2021. Congratulations to you. That's 5 years. And somebody whose name has already been mentioned today, this is the 5-year Long Service Award for Francis Curran. Congratulations a second time, Francis. Fantastic. And moving on now, I am delighted to be able to present, at least virtually, the 10-year Long Service Award to Holly Smallman. Congratulations to you, 10 years. Who'd have thunk it, eh? And finally, and this is a biggie, this is a real thrill to be able to announce a 25-year Long Service Award to Martin Elliott. Congratulations, Martin. That's First Ealing North, of course. And that is all of the awards that I have for today. We are in the process of applying for other Good Service Awards, but those won't be available till later in the year. I believe it's time to hand over to our President, Anthony Phillips.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you this morning. It is my privilege to pay tribute to those who have been called to higher service from our district in the last 2 years. First of all, I'd like to remember Dave Folkard, of course, the Group Scout leader of the 25th Ealing, where he has served for many, many years in a brilliant capacity as a Scout leader and then on to be the GSL. He has done such wonderful work when he was there in developing the group, and also through his financial acumen. He has been able to, that group, to donate quite considerable sums to the district. In addition, he has carried out the role of the campsite chief and looked after that for many years, and all will see the benefit of his work there, not only from the campsite and its physical appearance, but also the Murphy's, oh, I forgot what they're called now, the Murphy cabins, etc. And he's now handed over to Colin Brooks, Clive Brooks, to take over that role. So we do remember David with great concern of the fact that for all the work he's done. Only yesterday also received a notification that a former member of the district, as the badge secretary, Norman Jones, was also called to service on the 10th of April. He gave such wonderful service. Everybody saw him, all the leaders who used to go around to his house with his wife and receive their badges. So we remember them most affectionately for their wonderful service that they gave to the district over the years. So can I just ask for you to bow your heads and just say a few silent words? Thank you. Thank you. It's also my privilege as the president to say thank you to everybody, not only to the members, but also to the leaders who have done such sterling work for Scouting over the years. It is very hard to try and think about the last year and what people have been able to go and do. It is the most strangest one I think I've and everybody else will have had in their life. We must look forward to what Scouting is going to provide to you in the future. Many have done such sterling work in the past, and I'm most grateful, and so is everybody. For all the people that I've known in Scouting, they've never ever turned around and criticised Scouting for what it has failed to give them. It has undoubtedly given everybody a wonderful start in life, whether you start as a beaver and go on to be an explorer scout, or whether you're a leader. In my occupation and in my social world, all those that have been scouts have been exemplary in what they have provided for society over the years. We hear a lot about racism and respect. Scouting has done that, and my old promise was to look after people, to have respect for everybody, no matter what country, class or creed they come from. Those words always resonate with me when I see racism and respect being disrespected here, there and everywhere. So I take this opportunity to wish you all the very best for the year ahead, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. And now I believe I hand over to some messages from our local dignitaries. Thank you very much indeed.
Yes, we have a video which we're just about to play. It says 12 minutes at the bottom. It's not actually 12 minutes, so don't worry. It's about 3 minutes, but yes, we're just triggering that now.
This was the year that Scouting really came into its own, and Scouts really, really stepped up to the plate. Throughout the horrors of the pandemic, everybody I've seen who's been working to actually keep this country running, whether it's in the National Health Service, whether it's in support services, whether it's been running vaccination centres, whether it's been running food banks, you know what? There's been Scouts there. Everywhere I go where there's work to be done, there you will find Scouts. I really wish I was with you on St. George's Day so I could thank you personally. St. George obviously wasn't a Scout. He probably would have been if he'd had the chance, but I happen to think that if St. George is looking down, he will be as proud of you as I am.
I wanted to say a big hello and send all my very best wishes to everyone in Ealing and Hanwell Scouts on this St. George's Day. Now, like so much in the last year or more, this St. George's Day and the celebrations are going to be different than they have been before. I know how difficult it's been for all of us in this last year. I've been doing my work at Parliament from home, and I've missed meeting up with people, going out and about in Ealing and chatting to people about their lives. I'm sure that all of you have found it a real struggle too. But I wanted to send you this message to let you know that it's okay to find it difficult sometimes. It has been a difficult year for all of us. And if you are finding it difficult, always talk to someone about it because it helps it make it a bit better. And remember, there are better days ahead, so hang in there.
People have said that in a time of distancing and isolation, actually communities have been brought closer together. And it's many of the good sort of works that the Scouts do all year round, helping in their communities, that have really shone through this whole crazy episode of coronavirus, which hopefully is going to be behind us soon now that the vaccinations are rolling out so successfully. So once again, would like to wish a very happy St. George's Day to everyone from Ealing and Hanwell District Scouts. It's a time associated with the best of British and with Englishness. So let's go forward and do this in 2021. And hopefully next year we can meet in person in the great outdoors again.
The wonderful thing about Scouting is that its basic values have really come to the fore. Service of others, perseverance, making the best of whatever circumstances you find yourself in. That is what has kept you going. That is what has given your leaders something to work with and to enable so many of you to win additional badges during this COVID year. I'm sure in the future, when you look back and look at those badges, you will see them as COVID badges as much as anything else. And I would like to say a particular thank you to your leaders who've gone to immense effort to make sure that Scouting could continue for you in some form or other, even if not the form that any of us would have chosen. And I think if there's one lesson that everyone can take away from this, it is that for Scouts, perseverance pays off. Good luck for the coming and better year.
There we are.
Cool. Thank you very much. So that was our Deputy Lieutenant, Richard Cornicki, Member of Parliament for Ealing North, James Murray, Member of Parliament for Ealing Central, Ripper Huck, and our former MP, Steve Pound, who is also a massive supporter of Scouting and used to be on the Select Committee for Scouting, I think it was. So yeah, thank you very much to all those 4 people. And thank you, Nisha, for sorting out that video in advance and getting the BBC editing team to put it all together. So that's fantastic. Now I'd like to hand you over to our County Commissioner, Richard Williams, who will also say a few words.
Thank you, Ben, and good morning, everybody. A huge thank you to all of you for coming along this morning. It's great to see so many people participating in the St. George's Day event. And thank you too for everything you've been doing in the last 12 months. To see over 100 young people achieving their Chief Scouts Awards, top awards in each section in the last 12 months, which has been really difficult, is absolutely tremendous. Philip and Oliver, fantastic DofE Gold Awards. They are so special. I always like to see those things being awarded, and especially to Francis. A Queen Scout Award is really important. It travels with you for the rest of your life and opens doors for you wherever you go. So an absolutely massive congratulations from me for doing that. I don't know about you, but to be honest, I'm getting kind of worn living in the virtual world. So I'm really looking forward to getting together with people again and meeting up. And it's really great to hear that people are getting back to face-to-face scouting already. It's absolutely massive to get back to where we do what we do best, which is in the great outdoors, and start working on all of those, real practical skills that we're so good at. And already I'm seeing right across our county, new people coming into scouting because they've seen just what we bring to the table for everyone in our community, right across the board. Now I'm actually allowed to surprise people a little bit as well at the moment. And I know there's someone on the panel today who is not at all expecting to see this. I have in my possession a medal, which is a bar to the Award for Merit. They may have seen their name engraved on the back there real quick, so I'll put it down quickly. And I'm going to hold up the certificate now so that you can see Heather Jones has actually achieved this this award, and it's absolutely a fantastically well-deserved award for Heather. She works away in the background on all sorts of things, and it's great to see surprised. But well done to Heather. That's absolutely tremendous. So now, whatever you do in the next few weeks as we get back to face-to-face scouting, have an amazing time, stay really, really safe, and I'm looking forward to meeting up with you all again. Back to you guys. I think Heather is taking over here.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Well, now that's just okay. Shake it off, shake it off. Thank you. That was a lovely surprise, but you guys are mean. But anyway, thank you, Richard. And now we're coming towards the close of our celebrations today. But this is sort of like a finale. And just before we do let you all go, bear with us. I know we're running a little bit over, but this is important because it's time now to talk about my fellow District Commissioner, Ben Pearson. And as many of you will know, Ben is leaving us for pastures a little nearer to his home in Hitchin after 25 years of dedicated service in this district. But before I say anything else, to kick off this bit where we try and get Ben choked up, or at least show a modicum of emotion, I am going to hand straight back to Richard, who I know wants to say a few words about Ben. Over to you, Richard.
Thanks, Heather. I guess you may have thought I'd forgotten about you, Ben. That would have been a terrible thing to happen. I have to tell you all, I met Ben along with a group of other people on the side of a mountain, entirely appropriately, quite a few years ago now. There may have been 6 or 8 of us there, and that group of people have gone on to have a massive impact on scouting in Greater London, Middlesex West, not least Ben. Without Ben over the last few years, so many things that we've been able to achieve just wouldn't have happened. Not least the Duke of Edinburgh Award Expedition Programme that, it's been a joy and a delight to work alongside Ben in the delivery of just the best expedition experiences, watching young people achieving, through all manner of incredible weather. Long in the memory for me will be the year where Wales turned from dry as a bone to flooded lake in about 45 minutes. And the car park we were in started to fill up with water. We didn't think anyone was going to get out of that weekend with an award, but everybody pulled through, even despite the fact that I managed to put somebody's sleeping bag into a washing machine rather than a tumble dryer at one point. Ben coped admirably, as he always does. He's so well prepared. He always has a plan. So I suspect he's completely prepared for this situation, knowing that we're going to try and pull out embarrassing moments for him. And he'll have a plan to stay calm through this process. I've always enjoyed seeing the way that he's always well prepared. Those notes you saw today, that wasn't an accident. He's always ready for whatever comes at him. Working with him on Candlestick expeditions, DOV stuff we've done across the county in different roadshows and events. He's always ready. He always has a smile, and the flexibility that he has to just pick up any problem and deal with it is always a joy to work with him. He's just what you want from a scout, someone you can rely on, which is just absolutely brilliant. So a huge thank you, Ben. I'm quite prepared to take care of this for you, but I have a small gift which I will treasure until we meet, and then we can maybe reminisce a little over some of those things. Back to you, Heather.
Thank you, Richard. And if the behind the scenes people can assist with this next handover, I know that Jonathan, who's our district chair, just wanted to say a few words about and to Ben as well. Jonathan.
Yes, good morning, everybody. On behalf of the board, present and previous years, and many of the parents that have also taken leadership roles across the different scout groups, beaver groups, explorer groups, for Ealing and Hanwell, I just want to thank Ben for everything he's done. Many of us know that scouting and Ealing and Hanwell is in a better place because of Ben and the work that Ben has done over the years. And we do wish Ben the best of luck, and hopefully if he finds himself having lots of time or free time, you will find them coming back to Ealing and Hanwell, but that's me being wishful thinking. But I do have to say, the board is in a better place. The programs that we have across the district are in a better place. And moving forward, we hope to be doing even more and spending some more resources and time at Walter Davis, building different activities that would make the place more used by everybody. But thank you, Ben, for everything. All the best. And thank you. Scouts is in a better place than Ealing and Hanwell because of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jonathan. And if I can be switched back to me now.
Yes, I do have a few words where I can fit in.
Yeah, but I have to have my words next.
Oh, of course. No, of course. Yes, I didn't want you to end the webinar without me saying something.
Don't you worry, Ben. Don't you worry. You get to top it. You get to tail it. It is absolutely your show. Now, guys, come on, spotlight me.
There you go.
Jonathan is still embarrassingly big on screen, and I am small. There we go. Thank you. I need the spotlight. Okay, so now it's my turn. Right. Now, I'm not going to go on and on. Now, this will be a surprise to those who know me, but I have learnt a huge amount from Ben over the last 3 years, and one of them is brevity. Well, a bit. Ben, it's been so great to share the role of DC with you over the last 3 years, and it goes without saying that I personally, and of course the whole district, but me personally, I'm going to miss you enormously. In fact, I have a feeling that over the next few months in particular, I'm going to be like one of those people with WWJD bracelets, only in my case, it'll be WWBD, what would Ben do? But to be honest, the chances are, after I've done that, I'll probably still go ahead and do the opposite. No, I'm only joking. Honestly, I have been very, very lucky to gain so much from your long experience, and it's just been huge. It's been wonderful to work with you. And now I'm going to move swiftly on before I get choked up onto the prezzies. Yay, it's prezzies time. So we have got the formal gift, which is the silver thank you pin badge, which I want you to wear every time you're out and about in the whole of Hitchin, even when you're not in uniform, just so that people think you're a bit weird. But yes, that is for you and you must wear it. Then secondly, and this was actually due to land in your in tray at 10:30 this morning, but we've cunningly distracted you, you will be receiving the equivalent of the group card that people pass around in a manila envelope. This is the virtual equivalent, and this is a mock-up of the front page of it. Ben, a fond farewell from E&H and best wishes for the future. And then inside there's about 30 pages of different people putting their little comments and photos and messages. And I had a bit of fun mocking up this front cover, which I will send you, because at the bottom it's got the mock email address and mock website address. So the email address is sadtosaygoodbye@ealingandhanwell.org.uk, and the email address is www.ealingandhanwellscouts.org.uk/Ben is escaping, and the Twitter handle is @WeWillMissYouBen. So there you are, that's for you, for your card. And then finally, and this is the very final personal gift from the district, and then I'll pass back to you, Ben, and you can say what you want to say. But this is a photo book of memories for you, which has got, it hasn't got the whole of your 25 years, because basically I put this together by sneaking around on Facebook, and only the last 12 years were available to me. But we've got a thank you message at the front, and then it starts in 2009, and then it's got every single photo has got you in it, Ben.
Wow.
Picture of what you've been doing, and you can see yourself aging as the years go by, and the grey hair.
I don't know what you're talking about, Heather.
And so it's got your hikes and your camps with the explorers and Candestag and Duke of Edinburgh and looking very like a cool dude, and a teeny tiny few pictures of you as a DC. You were not very good at being caught on camera as DC, but the very final image, which is the one at the back, was during that bit of last year when we were allowed to meet, where you were investing both some explorers and some adult leaders. And the message at the back says, "Dear Ben, this photo book comes with huge thanks for all you've done in Ealing and Hanwell for so many young people, and for many adult leaders and supporters too. Your contribution to scouting in this part of London has been immense, and you will be sorely missed. Please accept this book as a small token of profound appreciation on behalf of your many scouting friends." There you go. And on the spine it says, Ben Pearson, memories of leading the way for Ealing and Hanwell. There you go. So bravo, Ben.
Thank you.
It will be in the post. It will be in the post tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Heather and Richard. I don't have much to say. I've just got a few words. But yeah, no, just sort of, obviously it's been mentioned. So yeah, today brings 25 years, to an end of scouting for me in Ealing and Hanwell and Greater London, Middlesex West. I started, as an assistant Venture Scout leader. For those that don't know, Venture Scouts is the section that became Explorer Scouts. Obviously, I've always been with the 14 to 18 age group, and as Richard mentioned, I took over the expedition training team about 8 years ago, and I can't remember exactly when it was. I think that's when I started to go grey, funnily enough. And then when I became DC, that process accelerated. And then, yes, I joined the DC team with Heather in 2018. It's been an incredible journey with hundreds of memories, and obviously some of those photos will show that, and I will always treasure those. We moved out of Ealing in 2013, so we are, as a lot of you know, Ealing born and bred, and obviously we kind of discussed it then, and I kind of said to Gemma, well, we now carry on in Ealing for a bit doing scouts. I don't think we really ever envisaged that 8 years later I'd still be doing scouts, or scouting in London. But I do want to say a few thank yous, because although, I've always done too much myself, scouting as a team activity. So there's a few people I'd like to mention. Obviously, there's some people that probably should get mentioned and I forget, so I do apologise. And I just want to thank, firstly, some people on my Explorer team. Obviously that's the core of what I've done for the last 25 years. And as I've said, I can't mention every leader, but just a few of the names that have very much been key throughout the last 25 years. So my close friend, Alan Rayner, who became an assistant Venture Scout leader with me back in 1996 and later became a DC himself in the district. Kevin Baker and David Bustle, who are part of that very early team. And then more recently, Simon Ketteringham, Gareth George and Robert Bedborough. Obviously, Robert Bedborough has very much taken the lead now that I've gone. So thank you to all of you guys. You've very much been there, over a long period of time and have supported me and delivered scouting. From my expedition side of things, I've had lots of fun going up and down mountains with lots of people. There have been some truly terrible moments, I won't lie. Richard talked about the weather in Wales. He didn't mention the mountain rescue time. He decided to keep that one secret. But yeah, there's been some incredible memories, some great experiences, some real tough ones. The funniest was, Richard putting the sleeping bag into the washing machine rather than the tumble dryer. It was already soaking wet. The young person was kind of distraught at that point. So Richard thought a clean sleeping bag would be better than a dry sleeping bag. But I'd like to thank, in terms of that team, Richard, who, as well as being my boss, is part of that team. And then just to show other people, so Mike Harrison, Andrew Furnell, Alan Shepherd, Derek Patterson, Aaron Wells, and Graham Drabble. Obviously, for Ealing and Hanwell, those names mean nothing to you apart from Richard, but it would be wrong of me not to thank them. And then just a couple of others. Obviously, there've been so many people that I've dealt with in the district, it'd be impossible to mention all of them. I'd like to thank Heather, who's been my DC partner for the last 3 years. When we took on the role, it was the first kind of, we wanted to try something different. One of our missions was, we wanted to change this perception of the DC as being this horrible role that everyone hated and no DC ever smiled and they all looked, and that was one of our key missions. We wanted people to look at the district commissioner and think, actually, that's quite a fun job. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that, actually. We do smile more than we cry. you know, yes, I occasionally have bags under my eyes. But yeah, so we've really worked really hard to make it look like a fun, enjoyable and positive role. And I think by and large, we've done a great job of that. So I thank Heather for being my partner in crime with that, because I couldn't have done that by myself. You know, I look forward to the district going from strength to strength, you know, under Heather's leadership. Obviously, it's coming out of a real challenging period. You know, as been mentioned, get back to face, but yeah, that's going to be amazing. And obviously, we've had some new people. So, you know, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Mandy, Nisha, Martin and Tash for stepping forward recently and kind of joining that team. And obviously the rest of the team. Then I'd like to thank John Foxwell. John's been an ever-present person in the district for a long, long time. And he's always given me so much support. You know, I remember a Scout leaders meeting probably 10 years ago, can't even remember. It was before John became a DC. He was a Scout leader then. And there'd be conversations and he'd tap his finger on the table and he'd go, what's the district going to do about this? Which I've often reminded him of that since he became a DC, but he'd be like, what's the district going to do? But yeah, so John, thank you for your support. You know, firstly, obviously when you were DC yourself, and since as obviously a member of the district team. So thank you very much, John. And lastly, I'd like to thank Richard. Yeah, I'm not choking up, I've got something in my throat.
Yeah, we believe you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Richard. You know, as Richard said, I first met him up a mountain, I think it was in 2008. You know, since then he's been my manager. I've managed him as well. It's always slightly weird when you're both the manager and the direct report of the same person. That was tough. He's been up here, he's been my friend as well for about 12 years. And he's one of those great managers because he kind of leaves you alone to do your job as long as you're doing it right and well. So I suppose that's a good sign that Heather and I have been largely left alone for the last 3 years. But he's always there if you need him. So I always knew that Richard was on the other end of the phone and he would drop everything if we needed him to drop everything. Fortunately, that never was needed. But yeah, so thank you very much, Richard. I'm almost done, guys. Sorry, I know this is going on. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family. So as a lot of you will know out there, being the family of someone with my level of scouting commitments can be a real lonely business. You know, it is like having a second job. You know, and it's been really hard for Gemma, my amazing wife, for the last 25 years on occasion, because sometimes it does feel like being a single parent. You know, and I remember Max, who's my oldest son, he was 4 months old when I went off to Wings 2003 for a week-long summer camp. And as any of you know that have got young children, 4-month-old children are not easy. So yeah, so I headed off to Wings for my summer camp because that's just what I did, and I left her alone. And that wouldn't be the first or last time I left her alone, you know, whilst I went on a 10-day clandestine expedition or whatever else. And you know, I would be lying if I said she'd always been happy with my scouting commitments. But she's always supported me. She's always let me get on with it. And she's always fed the kids. And she's always cleaned the house and looked after all those things whilst I've gone off and had my fun. You know, and my children have always just coped. And so I'd like to say a huge thank you to Gemma and also my children, Max and Charlie. Max is at work today, otherwise he'd be here, but Charlie's here as well. So yeah, you guys have been amazing. I couldn't have done it without you. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you very much for all your kind words. Thank you to the gift. And then do I close it? Am I handing back to you, Heather? I'm not quite sure. What's the plan?
No, I think we all give you a big round of applause and we say goodbye to everyone and thank you to everyone. And although Ben is saying an official goodbye, obviously he's kindly going to hold our hand a bit with any loose ends, but this is the official farewell to Ben. And on behalf of all of us, thank you, all of the attendees, all the young people and leaders and mums and dads. Thank you all for coming and for taking part. And we really look forward to seeing some photographs of all of you in your uniform, making the Scout sign, renewing your promise, whatever you've been doing today. I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing all the photos of the activities from yesterday and overnight. And I hope you get, if you didn't get a very good night's sleep last night, I know I didn't, get a bit of a better one tonight. But Ben, over to you again for one final word and then we'll say goodbye.
Yes, well, so that formally concludes our St. George's Day event. So yeah, I just thank you to all the leaders. You know, I know that Mandy said at the start, but yes, it's been the hardest year ever in scouting. Whoever knew? You guys have been amazing. I'm fed up with the Zoom sessions for my explorers. It's just not the same. So yeah, well done. Thank you for persevering. All the parents that have been ad hoc leaders from home. I'm sure when those emails have popped up from the Beaver leader saying, there's a pack arriving in the post, can you work your way through it? They probably weren't hugely appreciative, but they've done it and they've helped those kids get badges. Parents, if you've loved it so much that you want to become leaders, do get in touch with us, because we know that some of you actually learned that scouting is lots of fun. And yes, all the young people that have had a very different type of scouting year but have stuck with us. Thank you so much. As Richard and other people have mentioned, we're so looking forward to getting back to muddy fields, beaver sleepovers, camporees, climbing walls, all the stuff that we'd normally do under normal circumstances. And it's fantastic that it's starting, and fingers crossed that'll start completing soon. But I think that concludes the 2021 St. George's Day celebration of Ealing Hanwell. And we will see you, obviously I won't see you, but we will see you all again very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.